From movies such as Death Powder to Sweet Home, Japanese horror truly thrived as a genre in the 80s and gave us many gems. These films have remained under the radar for years, but a little bit of digging proves to be quite fruitful as we delve into the realm of Japanese slasher horror movies. Among others, Toshiharu Ikeda's Evil Dead Trap raised a lot of eyebrows when it was first released in 1988, and it eventually attained iconic status. The film follows a television show host as she finds herself in mortal danger while investigating the contents of a peculiar home video, and today we will be taking this journey with her. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. What was the movie all about? Evil Dead Trap's plot explored. Starring Miyuki Ono in the lead role, Evil Dead Trap focuses on the life of Nami, a young woman who hosts a late-night home video program. In this program titled Late Night with Nami, she makes a living by encouraging her viewers to send her their most strange home video submissions. As her fans submit an overwhelming number of videos, Nami complains that the video submissions are not interesting enough. That's when her eyes finally fall on a video that she had completely missed earlier. She presses play on it and watches the footage of a road trip before the video finally cuts to a woman being tortured. While Nami comments on how she has once again received a sexual video, the woman in the footage is stripped down while being tied with chains. And the video soon takes a jarring turn as the recorder cuts through the woman's eyeballs with a knife. As the footage gets increasingly disturbing, Nami finds it difficult to take her eyes away from the screen, even when the man cuts through the woman's body and leaves her unrecognizable. Finally, the video comes to an end, and Nami squints and focuses on the woman to realize that she looks exactly like her. Disturbed by the idea that someone sent her a video of torturing someone who resembles her, Nami rushes to her supervisor at work and requests him to look into the matter. However, he does not seem to care much about it, and he dismisses it as a prank, while Nami suggests visiting the place and then airing the footage to get more views. While her supervisor declares that they don't have the budget for it, Nami seems firm on investigating the spot in the video, and even suggests this to her peers. She soon assembles an all-female team consisting of Masako Abe, Ria Kawamura, and Rei Sugira, while Akiya Kondo is roped in to be their bodyguard. As they set out on their journey, Akio drives the car past the Takagicho Toge, while they wonder what kind of a person sent them the videotape. They continue down the same road as the videotape, and finally arrive at their destination, while the girls joke about Ria's dating life. While Nami gets out of the car with Akio, they notice that the place looks like an abandoned military base, and wonder if they can enter without permission. However, the gate does not have a functional lock, and they take this as a cue to drive inside without looking for any guards. Nami, Ria, and Masako decide to explore the place and go their separate ways. On the other hand, Akio and Rei stick by each other's side and seem to have some kind of history together. As the scene shifts to Nami, she spots some strange insects crawling around one of the abandoned buildings when she comes across a mysterious man. The man warns her that the place is dangerous and tells her to stay on guard, while he takes his leave in search of someone. As Nami observes his actions, Rei wanders around a factory room and comments on how everyone seems to have vanished from this otherwise functional room when she comes across a live snake. While Rei stands still, a teardrop falls from her eyes as the snake sniffs around her and eventually slithers away. In a desperate attempt to escape the snake, Rei finds herself in a different room where Akio scares her by hiding in a closet and making strange sounds. She pushes him away while he holds her and suggests finishing what they started the other day. While the two end up getting intimate, the camera pans to Ria and Masako as they investigate another abandoned warehouse. Masako captures everything with her camera while Ria wanders around and finds herself in the middle of the forest grounds. Fortunately, she ends up running into Nami, and the two decide to head back to their car while the man tries to reach out to them for help. It seems like he is being held captive, and he fails to call out for help as a masked man kicks him to the ground and leaves him incapacitated. As things get progressively spooky, Rei finds a faucet to wash up when she hears strange noises again, and she immediately blames Akio for it. As she looks for him, she encounters a bunch of strange worms just moments before things take a dreadful turn. Just when she least expects it, a scarred face flashes before her eyes, before she is impaled by several elongated swords. As these swords stab her one by one, Rei struggles with the pain momentarily before taking her last breaths. While she is impaled to death, Nami and Ria discuss the video, and Nami tells her that the man in the video was definitely trying to call her here. Ria declares that she does not wish to know anything anymore. On the other hand, Akio is hiding in the car. They ask him about Rei's whereabouts, but they are interrupted by Masako, who seems to have found the place from the videotape. While they are blissfully unaware of everything that has happened to Rei, they leave a note for her in the car and head out to the building from the video. In the lack of lighting, Akio fools around and scares them with his torch as they observe the place and notice a bunch of televisions piled up. As they delve further within this creepy warehouse, they are caught off guard as Rei's dead body inches closer to them through a zipline and leaves them completely mortified. This sight affects Ria more than anyone, and she starts running through the place while the others call out to her and try to calm her down. Unfortunately, Ria's hysteria gets the best of her as she ventures out on her own while the trio sticks together and takes pictures of an abandoned cage. While Masako bravely takes a step further to take a picture, the masked man reappears from within the cage and strikes her with his knife. Masako survives this attack with barely a scratch and warns the others to run away while she trips and falls over. This gives the man enough time to reach her and strike her down, while Ria takes their car and tries to escape the grounds on her own. Unfortunately for her, the captured man from earlier finds her in the meantime. He tries to kill her in the hopes that his captors will free him if he kills the trespassers. As the movie keeps shifting back and forth between Ria and Masako, the captured man forces himself on Ria, while a hooded man corners Masako and threatens her with his blade. Back in the car, the captured man reveals that the devil resides within these grounds, and that he takes great pleasure in torturing and killing human beings. He further reveals that the devil even killed his girlfriend before his eyes. He then continues to hurt Ria, while she desperately tries to escape. In a twist of events, the man is shot at the back of the head with an arrow, and Ria screams in horror as his blood splurts all over her. While she takes this as her cue to escape, a metal wire dangles from above and chokes her to her death right when she is about to leave the car. She struggles for a moment before finally dying and falling to the floor, after which the hooded man hovers over her body. He ensures that she has died before walking away. Meanwhile, Nami finds herself alone on the roof of the building. She seems to have little recollection of what is happening and wonders where she might be as she tries to look for Masako or Akio. Soon enough, the mysterious man from earlier, aka Daisuke Maraki, reappears and points her towards Akio's decapitated head. While Nami processes his death, Daisuke asks her about her other friends, and once again tells her that he had warned her against loitering around this place. The two of them find a quiet staircase, where the man reveals that the place used to be a military base, and that he would even play here with his brother. As time passed, the place became infamous for killings, and Nami helplessly asks Daisuke for some advice on how to get out of there. However, he seems to be of little help, despite having lived there for quite a long time. He wanders the halls in search of his little brother, and Daisuke soon starts talking to the walls, as if he can hear things that are inaudible to Nami. He seems to be talking to his brother, Hideko, and he soon disappears down the staircase with Nami right behind him. As he fights with a mysterious force, Nami follows him and remains in the shadows while Daisuke shoots his gun and chases after the intruder. Soon enough, Nami is left alone once again when she hears Masako's voice calling for help, and she rushes to the source of the sound only to find Masako's video footage playing on one of the televisions. While Masako asks Nami to help her, Nami does not know where to find her, and all the televisions in the room start playing the same footage repeatedly. Nami asks her for her location, and Masako somehow guides her to the end of the corridor so that she can find her dying body. While Nami runs to the spot, the door to the room is locked shut, and Nami tugs at the door. Another shot reveals that Masako has been tied to a corner with several metal strings that are connected to the door. It seems as if Masako would die if the door opens, but she has no way of warning Nami, who is about to barge into the room. While Nami bangs the door open, a blade swivels from the ceiling and kills Masako in one clean shot, while the hooded man appears at the scene and fires a few arrows at Nami. Fortunately, luck seems to be on Nami's side, as she survives most of these arrows, and she then calls out to the man and refers to him as a pervert. She further tells him to just kill her instead of toying with her, but the man disappears as Daisuke returns to the scene to help Nami recover from the attack. He then guides her to a secret path that would lead them out of the place, and he further reveals that the culprit is merely a kid. As the two make their way out of this secret tunnel, Daisuke wonders who this kid might be, while Nami suggests that he could just be one of the show's fans. Daisuke wonders why the kid is after her friend's life, and they soon stop for a smoke break as he struggles with his chest pain. While they wait for the pain to pass, they share their life stories, and Nami even reveals that she had a younger brother who died when she was young. She then asks Daisuke about Hideki, and even brings up the possibility of the young kid capturing his brother. They continue to make their way through the tunnel when Daisuke hands his gun to Nami and tells her to find her way out while he goes back to look for his brother. She hands him the lighter, watches him as he leaves, and finally turns ahead and makes her way out of the tunnel while she escapes through a manhole. Daisuke returns to his hideout in the base and applies some cream on his wounds. Finally, Nami sees the light of day and finds her way back to their car, where she comes across Ria's dead body and apologizes for bringing her here. However, she does not have long as the hooded man makes his way to the car and drags the dead captured man away from her, while Nami hides behind the car. The hooded man disappears from her sight, and something changes within Nami as she decides to head back and avenge her friends. She sips on their leftover drink and grabs a torch from the car before returning to the tunnel and making her way to the abandoned military base again. As she crawls back inside, she hears a motherly voice scolding Hideki for staying up late and ordering him to go to bed. While this voice repeats the same sentences repeatedly, Nami finds the television room once again and notices that all the televisions are playing different episodes of her late night show. She then comes across Daisuke's hideout, while a tape recorder continues to play the woman's recording, and things gear up for a creepy finale as Nami spots the hooded man again. The man takes no note of her as he drags her friends' dead bodies while talking to himself as if there were two beings within him. While one of these beings has killed 5 people in a day, the other scolds him for his actions. You didn't expect that, did you? It seems as if Daisuke makes up for one of these personalities, as he also converses with his brother, Hideki. While Daisuke is in shock over his actions, Hideki calls him soft and claims he can kill people much more easily. However, Daisuke declares that he is only doing all this for him, while Hideki's voice guides Daisuke to Nami and even reveals that she is lurking in a corner. Finally, Daisuke appears as the hooded man and locks himself in the room with Nami while questioning her actions. He tells her that he expected her to leave, and he even wonders whether her show's research is important enough for her to threaten her life like this. While Daisuke rests on his chair, Nami tells him that everyone around her has died because of him, and that his brother seems to be nowhere around. In fact, Daisuke imitates these voices from beneath his hood, and Nami even asks him whether he suffers from a split personality disorder. As things unravel, we learn that Daisuke developed an obsession with Nami since she resembled his mother to a great extent. In an act of great bravery, Nami finally points the gun at Daisuke and tells him to wrap things up so that they can go to the police. However, Daisuke asks her to just shoot him and end things for all, and he even gives in to her demands and agrees to go to the police. However, some strange forces of nature act up just when they're about to leave, as sparks erupt everywhere and rain starts pouring down in the room. Back in his regular form, Daisuke asks Nami to run away, but there is nowhere to run as the sparks catch fire and blocks all exits. As she returns to Daisuke, Hideki's voices boom through the ceiling as Daisuke begs her to shoot him and put an end to his agony. While Nami hesitates, a slab of blood makes its way out of Daisuke's body, while he tells the bloody mass to stay within him and die together. However, the mass of blood soon takes the form of a deformed child and orders Nami to stay away from his brother. As this mass of blood grows bigger and bigger, Nami bravely shoots her gun amid a fiery blast, and smoke covers the screen as she falls to her feet and whimpers in pain. In the aftermath of this blast, Nami gathers the strength to get back on her feet when Hideki's shapeless body extends a limb and wraps it around Nami's neck. While Daisuke pulls Hideki back to prevent him from killing Nami, she almost chokes to her death, but eventually survives the attack. With Hideki back within his body, Daisuke declares that it is all over and fights a battle within himself as his brother tries to come out again. Daisuke eventually fulfills his wish as his entire body lights itself on fire and kills the root cause of all evil. While Nami stays back with Daisuke's burned body as the fire burns out, she finally understands why he wanted it all to end. This might seem surprisingly anticlimactic for a slasher film, but things are far from over as the burned body bounces back on its feet as Hideki takes control of it. After a final clash between Nami and Hideki, she manages to fling him out the window, and things come to an end as the body crumbles into pieces and crashes down. As things come to an end, Nami regains consciousness in a hospital, while an officer tells her that they did not find any evidence of Hideki. As she recovers from the attack, Nami finally gets what she wants as she reports the incident in great detail on her late-night television show. While she packs up, one of her assistants hands her something that was dropped off for her, and Nami opens the package to find the lighter that Daisuke often carried around. While we least expect it, the marks on Nami's neck become quite evident as Hideki bursts her insides open and calls out to her as his mommy. What was the ending all about? When Nami wakes up in a hospital bed, most viewers would breathe a sigh of relief over the fact that she somehow survived all the insanity that she had to endure within the walls of the military base. However, her trouble seemed far from over, as we spot a mark on her neck indicating that she might still be tied down to Daisuke, or worse, Hideki. These suspicions are further confirmed when the lady hands the lighter over to Nami, who barely has time to process what happened before Hideki takes over. The monstrous child seems to have latched on to Nami now that his brother had died, and it even seems like the child planned this all along. It might just be Nami's bad luck that she resembled Hideki's mother to a great extent, which drove the demon kid to hatch an elaborate plot to lure her into the military base, and eventually take over her body. Moreover, the movie ends with Hideki trying to attack Nami, whose fate is left ambiguous as the screen turns dark and the credits start rolling. All of the themes that were embedded in the plot. To begin with, the movie has strong themes of violence and body horror, with plentiful scenes that might leave a bad taste in the viewer's mouth. The creators do not shy away from showing blood, brutal killings, and sexual violence, and almost all the characters are killed off in a new, more creative manner than the last one. The movie also explores themes of isolation, as the abandoned nature of the film brings out the worst in people. While Daisuke seems to be the victim of this, he does put up a brave fight despite his parasitic brother's wishes, even if he eventually has no choice but to give in to his demands. After living in isolation for years, Daisuke seems to have no option but to act on Hideki's urges, to kill any trespassers or keep them trapped while slowly torturing them. This is also highlighted when the captured man breaks free and reveals how he had been tortured for years, which makes it quite ironic that he then chooses to torture Ria. At the end of the day, Evil Dead Trap is a true psychological horror, and it successfully manages to leave a sense of dread and uncertainty as the movie wraps up. A slasher classic. Why this movie deserves a watch. Evil Dead Trap has garnered quite a lot of raving reviews over the years, and it remains to be one of the most iconic slasher movies of all time. While this 80s Japanese film often slips under the radar while discussing slasher horror, this does not mean it lacks in any way. In fact, the movie more than delivers when it comes to the most common elements of horror, and especially does a great job at setting an atmosphere of uncertainty. The viewers are constantly left on the edge of their seats, with very little hope and a whole lot of dread for what is set in store for the characters. Miyuki Ono does a fantastic job of portraying Nami, while Yuji Hanma does great justice to Daisuke's character, and the rest of the supporting cast also does a spectacular job of breathing life into these characters. It makes complete sense that the movie has garnered quite a cult-like following, and it certainly has a refreshing plotline and a whole lot of inventive story arcs. Additionally, the cinematography deserves some special praise, as the scenes keep the viewer's eyes glued to the screen to avoid missing any critical details. The movie also has excellent pacing, and it captures our attention slowly but surely, as we find ourselves completely engrossed as the movie shapes up for its finale. Even then, the element of surprise does not die down, as the climax scene delivers a couple of surprises and leaves us speechless. Marvelous verdict. To wrap things up, Evil Dead Trap can best be described as a complete package, as it includes all the elements of a classic slasher film, from jump scares to gory killings and mysterious figures. Evil Dead Trap truly succeeds at keeping the viewers on the edge of their seats, and it promises a whole lot of horror fun for your next movie night. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one, and be safe. Thanks, everyone.